It's 8 p.m. on a Friday. I just got back from my friend's place. She was upset because when her mentor asked if she had done mycoplasma testing on her cells, she thought she had done so. So she said yes, but turned out her samples were still in the freezer. No biggie, right? Then she happened to misinterpret a gel. Big deal. But somehow her mentor got furious and got the program director involved. Both of the mistakes, I believe, were innocuous, but somehow the program director has been convinced that she was intentionally lying about the mycoplasma testing and is threatening to kick her out on grounds of ethics/code of conduct violation, and also citing previous misconducts and her screwing up her second chance. I have big issues with this, and I am livid, but you're probably confused, so let me explain. My friend has just started in this lab, even if she was in my class, and I am a rising fourth year. Her previous mentor, her previous PI, was extremely abusive to her, both professionally and emotionally. That faculty member had a track record of being super nice on the surface, but being really condescending and unprofessional once you actually start working for her. But of course, none of us knew that during our first year rotations. My friend tolerated that faculty member's abuse for almost 2 years before deciding it was too much, telling us, walking away, and filing complaints. Because of this extreme lack of maturity, I believe, that faculty member proceeded to give my friend an incomplete grade for reading and research class this past semester, effectively putting her on academic probation despite her getting A's on almost all the other classes she's taken so far. My friend has worked in other labs even prior to joining our program, and honestly, I've heard nothing but good words about her work ethics, her being an amazing scientist, and just her being an amazing person in general. So I was beyond confused why the program chair was so gung-ho about kicking her out of the program. Then I remember that that faculty member was pretty tight with the program director, which led me to believe that whatever previous misconduct the program director was referencing was from what the faculty member had told that person. And based on that faculty member's reputation and MO, was probably fabricated, exaggerated, and designed to make my friend look horrible. Of course, I'm not saying that all of this definitively happened to cause the program director to act the way they did. But I also don't need to stress how much of a trauma mentor abuse is to the students who experience it. I see it firsthand. I see it firsthand, that beyond prolonging what was already a super long journey, enduring abuse from the very person you should trust, and switching lab more than halfway through your progress, not because of your problem, but because of mistreatment from that very person you should trust, can take huge physical and mental toll as well. It is no secret that academia and the academics within it can be extremely toxic. And I am utterly perplexed as to why the faculty members at my institution, especially those in her very department, chose extreme punishment for the mistakes that most of us will probably experience at some point in our graduate school career anyway. And I'm beyond perplexed, beyond blown away by how those very individuals chose not to advocate for my friend, for her, for their student, for the person suffering from workplace abuse under their eyelids. And they chose to base their punitive options off of the words that comes coming out of the mouth of the very person that was the abuser. When we talk about graduate school programs, the students are who faculty, staff, and institution are supposed to support and whose best interests they're supposed to have at heart. But none of that is at work here. It just seems like a pure witch hunt to me. This is how the quintessential toxic work environment is perpetrated in academia. This is how academia became built on exploitation. This is how some faculty members coddle their ego so they can hinge their success on their students bearing down on their very own mistreatment. This is how students can be driven to continue their underpaid work despite heavy abuse because, well, if they quit, they can be labeled as not being able to take the heat. Of course, toxicity often comes with its own structural underpinning. In fields where there's more people and dwindling funding, I can see where it can come from. It comes with all other kinds of competitive, cutthroat environments. But that does not excuse any department, any individual, any institution from sabotaging their own student without consequences. This weed out the weak mentality should never be let happen in an educational setting. From the top down, it should never be tolerated. You don't just deal with it when your own mentor disrespects you as a person and a scientist. This is not pedagogy. This is workplace bullying. This is bullying victims into submission. I was lucky in that I have a great mentor and was surrounded by great individuals in a very supportive departmental environment. But the fact that it's not happening to me, but my friend, who is just as qualified, if not more qualified of a scientist and a human than I am, is facing this issue, says volume. I offered my 100% whichever route she decides to go down. If she decides to fight, I will fight with her. If she decides to try to quit with a master's, I will help make sure that it happens. If she decides to leave altogether, I will always be there for her. If you ever struggle with issues like this, please know that you're not alone. Toxic personalities in academia will always be rampant, but we should not be discouraged by it. Getting PhD is a job, and a job should never cost you your mental health or your sanity. Even if you end up having to leave academia before getting the terminal degree, please note that there's a whole vast world out there, and the ivory tower is not the only destination. Well, that doesn't exactly help my mental health either, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. Now, back to the original programming.
if you spend the winter all alone, yeah. Cause autumn leaves fall. Autumn leaves fall.
Yeah. See, had to ask a question if you happy, girl. I'll change your mind anytime in this happy world. Let's go and kick it, you and me, and see what love unfurls. Cause girl, I bet you love some tugging on them lovely curls. Hold up, a week up after that, believe we started dating. My heart was racing, but never felt my time was wasting. My mind was chasing, ain't no debating. I'm feeling you, and trying to get together, figure out what to do. Even after some disasters, we were making it work. But never did I ever think that you would do in the dirt. Stay cute while you smile in your brand new skirt. Just happy that we've been together and we never get hurt. So say, girl, why you kick it with them guys all dumb? If you ever got some worries when with me all done, change the picture that you paint until the paint all gone. Cause I'm just falling for the artist like your name Autumn. Like,
wonder if you spent the winter all alone, yeah. Cause autumn leaves fall. Autumn leaves fall. Stuck in the cold cause there's nothing left to hold, yeah. Cause autumn leaves fall. Autumn leaves fall. Yeah, if you knew what I do for you, next to